3, 2, 1.
Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 1188. My name is Elizabeth, and before getting into this reading, if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work, and you'd like to help support it, feel free to do so by sticking around and hitting the subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it if you feel called to. If you do feel called to subscribe and stick around, welcome, and thank you very much for your support in helping me reach 300 subscribers at this time, as well as your presence during this reading. So, starting with interpreting 1188, there are 2 1s and there are 2 8s. So as of right now, the messages from these numbers feel equally significant. The number 1 is about having trust and faith in yourself, the universe, another person, another situation. It's about trusting your intuition and believing in your own strength, especially if you need to be strong to honor your intuition. The number 8 is about loss and trusting that whatever is lost will be replaced. This really makes me think that maybe your intuition is guiding you to let go of someone or something, and it could even be difficult to let go of whoever or whatever this is. And this could be a loss or sacrifice that happened in the past, the present, or will happen in the future. I really do think that it is important for people to generally trust that whenever they let go of someone or something that isn't good for them or healthy for them, it will pay off. There's an immediate payoff of no longer investing in a relationship or situation that doesn't honor yourself, but there could also be a long-term payoff too. Especially if you feel like you're having to commit to this idea of letting go of people or situations that don't serve you, your highest good, your well-being. Adding up these numbers, 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 8 is 10, plus another 8 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. And while I was adding up those numbers, I saw the number 333 on the timer. The number 3 can be about using your voice and expressing yourself and taking an opportunity to heal and to grow it. And it could be one of these things, or the whole message that comes from the number 3 stands out to you or resonates for you. Number 9 is about purpose, helping the world release what no longer works. Maybe you feel that using your voice is connected to a sense of purpose that you have or that you're looking for. And using your voice, it doesn't have to be with your actual words. It could be in your own actions. Just allowing yourself to express yourself freely in whatever way feels significant for you, I suppose. This idea of helping the world release what no longer works. Whenever you let go of someone or something that doesn't work for you, you are contributing to a greater fight. And helping humanity. I guess have more self-respect and ultimately more room for truth. It's almost like I'm getting this feeling of like there's a bigger battle here, but it's part of a bigger war. When it comes to this sense of purpose and helping the world release what no longer works. And I just saw the number 555 on the timer, which is about change and transformation, maybe some sort of transition. Overall, this number, 1188, is called for you to have trust and to have faith, especially when it comes to trusting that what is lost will be replaced. But I feel like you can only trust that if you allow yourself to move on, to breathe, to heal and grow. You allow yourself to move forward in a way that works for you rather than against you. It's almost like there's this question of how are you going to use your power when it comes to dealing with loss. I personally do believe that there is a lot of purpose in finding closure, personally and collectively, individually, I guess is a better word rather than personally. But I think all of us need to get better at allowing ourselves to heal and to find deeper meaning and something to learn from pain and suffering. Me personally, I kind of just look at pain and suffering as part of life, but not personal. I think that we are meant to ask why. Why me? Why is this like this? If you are curious about someone or something outside of yourself, I really encourage you to allow yourself to explore. For me personally, there is something comforting knowing that while I carry pain and deal with struggles like everybody else, there's something deeper going on here. But I'm just thinking about how I saw the number 333 and 555 as confirmation of a significant change, as well as an opportunity to heal and to grow at the least, but maybe even to use your voice to show up authentically and honestly as well. So there are two decks of cards on the table in front of you. Here we have, maybe I don't want to use the Prisoner Visions Tarot. The first spell connects to the Secrets of Tarot, but then the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. So let me switch these cards real quick. I want to use the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, to be honest. So let me just grab those cards. So this is what the Nightmare Nightmare Before Christmas tarot cards that look like. But these cards over here are just cards that I made myself. These white ones. I'm just going to start off with drawing one of these tarot cards to get more detail or context about whatever you're going through or just whatever messages you need to hear. So I need to draw one of these cards. Okay. So we have the Queen of Cups on this deck. It's called the Queen of Potions, and it says calm, caring, cool, grace and control, motivated by compassion. It's a little bit shocked to see the word compassion there, because right after I was reading the card, I was going to mention that I'm feeling connected to the word compassion. That word came through in the previous reading that I did, 1187, so if that idea is significant for you, maybe that reading could be worth watching. But the number 6 was connected to the word compassion in that reading, and I see the number 6, if you don't know already, as encouragement for you to love and care for yourself over hating and neglecting yourself. It's really about showing up for yourself in the way that you deserve, having love for yourself in the way that you deserve. So you can have the capacity to spread more love to others, more truth into the world. Actually, you see that there's words here at the top of it. Read, trust yourself and listen to your intuition. Interesting. Because we did talk about having trust and faith. The Queen of Cups is definitely somebody who they're emotionally regulated, and this allows them to discern between what their intuition is telling them and what their fear or fears are telling them. This could be a call for you to sort through something emotionally or mentally or maybe even spiritually that you are dealing with. I just now saw a warning here for somebody about being manipulated or coerced into a vulnerable position or taken advantage of. And I feel that this is about how emotionally regulating yourself is a form of self-protection. I think that it's easier to be manipulated when you can't tell the difference between your intuition and your fear, because your emotions are too, we'll say, wild. And it's not a bad thing to be emotional at all. I actually think it's really important that we connect with our emotions, because it helps us connect with our intuition and something greater than ourselves. Which makes me want to say that how you feel does matter. And I just saw a sign about trust, and everything happens for a reason. How you feel matters for a reason. Don't neglect yourself, I feel, is a really, really important message here. This generally feels like a call to show up with more compassion for yourself, for others, both. Just like I've been saying, there's something emotionally that needs to be worked through that may be making it harder for you to have more warmth, for yourself, for others, whoever. Something here feels like it could be making you colder. Or, on the other hand, this is just confirmation for somebody who is already emotionally regulated, and this is just a call to trust yourself. I just saw number 444 on the timer, connected to ancestors and your spirit. I was going to say your spirit guides, but I meant to say stability. I think that your spirit guides in general want to connect with you or already enjoy connecting with you. but it's your ancestors in particular who are coming through, the strongest, and acknowledging something here that has to do with your home life or your close personal relationships. And I'm slowly shuffling the cards while I'm talking, and a card fell on the floor, and I'm going to show it, but I'm not going to take it. We have the Justice card. It says that make sure your morals are expressed through actions. All actions have reactions. This could be about okay, so there could be an injustice that you could be inflicting upon yourself, or an injustice, an unjust situation that you are dealing with, or both. The injustice that could be being inflicted upon yourself is definitely emotional, not allowing yourself to heal, to find closure, to learn, to connect more with your faith, your spirituality. Maybe there is something here that you need to give yourself permission to do or to work through. Especially if you are dealing with an unjust situation. I believe that to create justice in our physical reality, we first have to be willing to create justice within ourselves, for ourselves, treating ourselves with fairness. And part of that is being more compassionate, more patient and understanding with ourselves. Let me go ahead and draw out a couple of these cards here. I'm going to take this one. Interesting. It says, don't control what you cannot. This makes me think of the idea of dealing with an unjust situation. And it did have the number 28 at the top. 2 is 10, which is confirmation of the presence of your spirit guides. Really. And they bring a specific message for you to have trust and faith in what you can't control. It's almost like surrendering to your circumstances, finding acceptance so you can focus less on what you can't control and more on what you can control. So you can focus less on the dead ends or the lack of an exit and more on finding a way out. If you are trying to get yourself out of a difficult situation, I think the best thing you can do for yourself is to have the right mindset. To not be your own worst enemy. Let's go ahead and get this last card here. There might be something significant here about World War I or World War II. We have, you will get used to change. Stay patient and take it one day at a time. This is something that I have had to learn how to get comfortable with myself. These cards that I use in this reading, I originally used them for myself. So I want you to know that you are not alone when it comes to struggling to cope with how life works. You know, and I don't mean that in a condescending or patronizing way. It's just it's genuinely difficult to accept what we can't control. Really, like, from my own experience, I would punish myself for things happening in the world that I couldn't really do anything about. Not allowing yourself to grieve, to heal, to keep an open mind is a form of self-punishment. It really does take time to get used to change, but are you actually focused on trying to improve your relationship with the idea of change or loss or trying new things? Are you giving yourself the opportunity to learn how to have courage? Or at least how to use your courage in a way that works for you rather than against you? Somebody here could be feeling very, very tired. It's like there's this baseline exhaustion or tiredness and how you are handling it emotionally is just making you more tired. It's not really helpful. Overall, this reading has encouraged you to have more trust and faith, just as much as it has encouraged you to trust that whatever is lost has been lost, or you will lose, will be replaced. Things will get better as long as you choose that path and allow yourself to heal, to grow, to find deeper meaning, to see loss as an opportunity to learn not only practically but also spiritually. Like I said before, I do believe we are meant to ask why and to find answers, a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us, the universe. The cards on the table are seriously calling for you to have more compassion for yourself, others, the universe, just a real softening to make things easier for yourself. And it does feel like part of that is accepting what you can't control, whether it's about yourself or someone or something outside of yourself, and allowing yourself to take things one day at a time and to learn how to have a healthy relationship with change, loss, trying new things, you know?